unprecedented damage to society. Shifting focus away from East Asia towards South Asia. We're now learning that talks between Afghanistan and Pakistan in Istanbul to broker a long-term truce have ended without a resolution. Now, two sources familiar with the matter have stated this is a blow for peace in the region after deadly clashes that had occurred earlier this month. The talks aimed to reach lasting peace between the South Asian neighbors after dozens were killed along their border in the worst such violence since the Taliban took power in Kabul in 2021. Both sides agreed to a ceasefire brokered in Doha on the 19th of October, but could not find common ground in a second round of talks mediated by Turkey and Qatar in Istanbul. Both sides have blamed each other for the failure. A Pakistani security source has stated that the Taliban had been unwilling to commit to rein in the TTP, which is a militant group hostile to Islamabad. Islamabad claims it in fact operates with impunity inside Afghanistan. Meanwhile, an Afghan source familiar with the talks has stated that they ended after tense exchanges over the issue, adding that the Afghan side had stated that it has no control over the TTP, which has launched attacks against Pakistani troops in recent weeks. The spokespersons for Afghanistan's Taliban government and defense ministry and for the Pakistani Army and Defense and Foreign Ministries did not immediately respond to any requests for comments. There are no formal comments that have come out from either countries as of now. The October clashes, remember, began after Pakistani airstrikes had taken place in Kabul, which is the Afghan capital, among other locations. The head of the TTP was targeted in these strikes. The Taliban, of course, responded with attacks on Pakistani military posts along the length of the 2,600-kilometer border. The breakdown in talks have, of course, caught the attention of US President Donald Trump. It could, of course, strain the delicate ceasefire between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Of course, earlier, Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif has stated that he believed Afghanistan wanted peace, but that failure to reach an agreement in Istanbul would mean open war. This is, of course, the latest that we're tracking on the broadcast. With us is Fakhar Yousafzai. He's a Pakistani journalist based in Islamabad. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. I wanted to understand from you, what are the consequences now of the talks breaking down? As I mentioned earlier, Khwaja Asif did state that any failure to reach common ground could result in open war between Pakistan and Afghanistan. We have seen a very delicate, fragile ceasefire come into place on the 19th of October after talks in Doha. But somehow talks in Istanbul have not been successful.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. Actually, there were so many expectations from Pakistan as well as from other side of the border in Kabul as well. But unfortunately, these 3 days dialogue ended without any proper resolution, without a joint statement, and without any commitment between the both sides. And I think so in Doha, the situation was not that much worse as we have seen in Istanbul. Actually, Pakistan is trying to want to get commitment, a written agreement from Kabul that they will not support the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is a big threat for the security forces of Pakistan, especially in the border areas and Afghanistan and Balochistan areas. But the Afghan Taliban is totally deny that this is your internal matter. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is operating from Pakistan, not from Afghanistan. Therefore, you should, if you want to operate against them, you can. If you want to do something other way, or maybe you can talk to them for the peace agreement with the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. This is the news from Kabul, which is coming. But Pakistan is not ready for anything except that the Afghan Taliban government should give us the assurance that they will not support and they will operate against the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan in the Afghanistan area. If we talk about the Afghan Taliban as well as the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, these are the two groups, but I think so they are follow the same regime, the same thing. Of course, both are both towards the Kandahar. They salutes to the Mullah Omar, and they follow his legacy, I think so, in both area, in Pakistan as well as in Afghanistan. Therefore, the Pakistani government or the Pakistani authorities are trying so many times. This is not the first time in Istanbul, in Doha, in Kabul. So many times our foreign minister or deputy prime minister, defense minister have visited Kabul for 5 times in last I think so 1.5 years. But no result coming from there. Therefore, as you mentioned about the statement of the defense minister of Pakistan, Mr. Khaja Asif, which he said that if the dialogue is failed, there will be open war between Afghanistan and Pakistan. But I think so. For Pakistan, this situation is not good. Of course, not for Afghanistan, I think. So Afghanistan is facing what they are facing right now. The crossing points of between Pakistan and Afghanistan is blocked from last 16 days. So many thousands of trucks and trailers are parked other side of the border as well as on this side in 5 crossing points. Of course, the traders, the business community is facing so many problems. But if we talk about the government in Kabul and the government in Islamabad, they are, I think so, they are not in a mood that they will open the border or they will go back or they will step down from their demands. This is the main thing, and this is I think so the main reason behind this deadlock, or I will say that the failure of this dialogue in Istanbul.
Indeed, and speaking of Khwaja Asif, earlier when he was questioned in Western media about terror networks, terror hubs that are operating in Pakistan, he had made a statement stating that Pakistan was simply doing the dirty work of the West. This was seen as a tacit admission of the fact that yes, there are terrorist elements that are operating out of Pakistan. There has been backing by the establishment as well. So in light of that, and the recent attacks we've seen, there was a warning that was given by Hillary Clinton about a decade back that snakes reared in Pakistan's backyard would eventually come to bite it back. Are we seeing that taking place and coming to fruition?
You're absolutely right. Actually, the journalists like me, and there are so many other people who was talking about all these situations, especially in 2021 when the Taliban took over the Kabul after the Ashraf Ghani government. And we talk to the government, to the authorities here in Islamabad, as well as that time I was in Kabul. We have talked so many times on these type of issues. Our senior politicians have talked about this issue in 2001, in 1979. There are so many examples in front of us. But I think so, our establishment, I think so, was the part of that game. With the US, of course, US is not living here. This is far away from Afghanistan, from Pakistan. But we are facing this issue right now, and we have lost more than 80,000 people in this war. We have lost $150 billion in this war on terror. But what we gain? I think so, I will say nothing. Right now, we are facing Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is a big threat right now for our security forces. They are attacking in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa areas in the Pak-Afghan border, as well as they are attacking in the capital of Balochistan, Quetta, as well as in the other Pashtun areas like Job, Noshki, and different areas. They are attacking the security forces installation in Balochistan as well. Therefore, this is a big threat for Pakistan. But what we are doing right now? Actually, all the people are divided. There are so many differences. The Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government and the Imran Khan saying that we should go for the dialogue with the Afghan government. We should go for the dialogue with the other people, especially the stakeholder of those areas. I mean to say the Pashtun people who's living in those areas. But I think so our government or our establishment are trying, they are attacking, 3 times they attacked Afghanistan in airstrike. And right now in October, we have seen the big clashes between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And I think so in last 77 and 78 years, we didn't see the clashes like this one, which we have seen in October, 12 or 13 or 14 of October this month. Actually, our policy, I think so, still we are not going for the streamlined policy. Of course, we should accept all our mistakes in the past, and we should go with the streamlined policy with Afghanistan, with Iran, with India, with China, and other neighbors or the rest of the world. Of course, if we want that we should overcome the Taliban Pakistan or BLA or ISIK, they are also operating in those areas. Then we should make a clear policy. We should get the confidence of the people of Pakistan. The parliament is not involving in anything here, unfortunately. The people of Pakistan is not involving in these matters. This is the main reason because of which we are facing so many threats, but we are not able to overcome all these things. We are losing our security forces, we are losing our police officers, we are losing our bureaucracy people in those areas. But we are not able to overcome Taliban Pakistan. They are wandering, I think so, in every district of the border areas.
All right, with that, I would like to thank you, Mr. Yousafzai, for taking out time and, of course, sharing your perspective on what exactly is transpiring between Afghanistan and Pakistan. But in the meantime, according to an exclusive report filed by the Sunday Guardian, the latest round of the Pakistan-Afghanistan negotiations in Turkey collapsed moments after the Pakistani delegation received a phone call from Islamabad and abruptly reversed its position. Now, according to insiders familiar with closed-door discussions, the 3-day talks mediated by officials from Qatar and Turkey had been on the verge of agreement. Both sides had finalized nearly all agenda items. Afghanistan had reiterated its long-standing position that it would not allow anyone to use its soil to attack Pakistan and had offered to formalize this commitment. In return, Kabul sought reciprocal guarantees that Pakistan would not violate Afghan airspace, would prevent US drones from operating through its territory, and would ensure ISIS-linked groups were not allowed to use Pakistani soil to strike Afghanistan. Initially, according to these sources, the Pakistani delegation agreed to all of these conditions. But soon after receiving the phone call, it retracted its consent, stating that Islamabad could not prevent US drone operations or guarantee measures against ISIS elements. Now, according to an insider familiar with what was transpiring, the deal was all but settled, and then everything changed after this particular phone call. Diplomatic sources have stated that the abrupt U-turn shocked the mediators, who described the Pakistani team's behavior as erratic and uncoordinated. The delegation had already drawn attention for its off-topic interventions, frequent use of harsh language as well. Sources say that at one point, Turkish and Qatari representatives privately remarked to the Afghan side that Pakistan appeared to be struggling with too many difficult neighbors. Insiders stated that Pakistani delegation also lost composure during the exchanges. Pakistan's representatives warned that if the Taliban Pakistan continued attacks, Islamabad would retaliate against Afghanistan. The Afghan side countered that controlling violence inside Pakistan was the responsibility of Pakistan's own security forces and not Kabul's. By the final day, all agenda items, I reiterate, except one had been settled. However, this particular phone call that was made from Islamabad and the subsequent reversal had undone days of progress, leaving the session in collapse. All right, viewers, shifting focus to more news coming in. 3 people have died in Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa approached the islands in Haiti and Dominican Republic. 4 deaths have been reported so far. Meanwhile, Jamaican PM has warned of mass devastation in an interview. He has stated that the storms are likely to turn north, so that means it could have an impact on the shores more to the western end of Jamaica. Residents are bracing for the hurricane as well. Winds are nearing 175 miles an hour and torrential rain is already lashing in parts of the island. The National Hurricane Center has warned of total structural failure in some areas. Meanwhile, campaigning has commenced for Myanmar's military-organized elections, a vote rejected by the opposition and widely viewed as an effort to legitimize the junta's rule amid ongoing civil war. The polls that are set to begin in phases from 28 December exclude Aung San Suu Kyi's dissolved National League for Democracy, which won overwhelmingly before the 2021 coup. Some 57 junta-approved parties will contest, but large areas under rebel control will not vote, and martial law remains in place across much of the country. Public interest is low as conflict and economic hardship is worsening. The pro-military USDP launched its campaign under heavy security, but activity elsewhere is sparse. Rights groups and the United Nations have stated that elections cannot be free or fair, and diplomatic sources have confirmed that ASEAN will not send observers for further isolating the regime as it seeks international legitimacy. Well, viewers, that's all we have for this bulletin. More news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned on NewsX World.